Hi, my name is Sandy Robson. Welcome to my channel. This is the Heart Awakening Revolution. A decree for divine feminine healing of the past. Align your intent with your soul's calling for an abundant, joyful life and blessings without limit. This decree will communicate directly with your superconscious mind, your wise inner being, supporting your conscious intent to release the past. Please listen in a quiet place where you will not be disturbed. Let's begin. I call upon my superconscious to connect to the divine Mother of unconditional love and grace. I declare this is my new decree for a life of abundance, joy, wholeness, connection, peace and love. That is my birthright. I call upon Spirit, my I am presence, my superconscious, guides and angels to be present and fully support my intent to transition into the new paradigm of 5D abundance, peace and love as a high vibrational, open-hearted being of light that fully recognizes my sovereignty and divinity. Superconscious, I would like to connect with you now as I make this powerful, binding and lasting decree, all for my highest and best interest. Superconscious, I declare my sovereignty and absolute power as a divine feminine being, and therefore ask that all old, archaic, patriarchal, disempowering, core wounding, predispositions and beliefs be cleared from my entire being, subconscious, unconscious, chakra system, body and fields. Please bring resolution to beliefs of unworthiness, victim consciousness, inferiority, deprivation and inequality, and all beliefs of a similar vibration. I revoke all patriarchal systems in which my core wounding and DNA encoded status is defined and expressed in the form of undervaluing and undermining my integrity, self-respect and dignity. Superconscious, I revoke all victim consciousness programs created by the patriarchal core wounds that still influence my life by hooking me into low vibrational emotions of shame, resentment, humiliation, anger, rage, fear and sadness. I call back all the energy that was lost and stolen along my path to anyone or any difficult experience to be returned to me now, purified in the light of unconditional love. I revoke the mindset and perception that because I was wounded, there is now something wrong with me, that I am damaged and it is permanent. I decree this belief is now null and void, as I fully and unreservedly adopt the mindset that I am a sovereign being with absolute divine gifted power to create a life of joy, peace and love, aligned with heart-centered consciousness. I revoke all the energy that I unknowingly offered to collude with a system that overtly and covertly schemed to keep me from recognizing my sovereignty. I decree absolute power and autonomy over my life. I revoke all beliefs and programs that the 3D patriarchal system still has power over me in the form of control, exploitation, dominance, and oppression. I recognize the oppressive structure of these programs and decree that I am released from all contracts that bind me to them. I revoke all 3D patriarchal contracts in this lifetime and past lives that elicit dissociation from my authentic feminine power in the form of defensive, rigid mindsets, negative beliefs, and toxic low vibrational emotions. I understand that part of my contract is to live the opposite of my authentic power, to recognize and fully embody the truth of my sovereignty. This decree is an integral part of that contract. I revoke all ancestral programs in my DNA of fear and terror that resulted from hundreds of years of persecution, humiliation, and disempowerment from the church and all other elite patriarchal institutions and organizations. I revoke all programming and dispositions within the beliefs that I am not enough, I am inferior, I am a victim, I am powerless, and I am helpless. I revoke all the energy and denial it took for me to unknowingly collude and acquiesce with a system that from birth, overtly and covertly, sought to render me powerless, verbally, physically, and emotionally. I revoke all patterns, programs, and false perceptions in my DNA passed down through the feminine collective that I am in any way responsible for any form of abuse and cruelty resulting from toxic masculinity. I revoke all ancestral victim consciousness stories that hook me into patterns of helplessness, fear, inferiority, compliance, conformity, voicelessness, and intimidation. I revoke all programming and false perceptions within the belief it's the man's world and I must adhere to a structure that diminishes my power, dignity, authority, and sovereignty. I revoke all programming and predispositions within the beliefs I am flawed, I am unworthy, I am powerless, I am a victim, and I am unlovable. I call upon the unconditional love of the Divine Mother to clear from my being all toxic, patriarchal wounding, false perceptions, and illusions originating from these negative beliefs. I now decree that all toxic, low vibrational, patriarchal energies no longer hold any power and control over my existence as a sovereign being of light. I decree my core wounding and trauma ends with me through the full power of my awakened awareness and passionate desire to heal and transcend my shadows, and is not energetically passed on through my words, beliefs, and emotions onto other women in my life and the collective. I trust that anything unlike love will arise for the purpose of healing, and I give thanks that my healing will end the cycle of female persecution for myself and the feminine collective within the light of grace from the Divine Mother. I decree that through my awakened state and healing, my emotional trauma, collective victim energy is transcended through me and will cease to exist as a karmic debt for women as we evolve into heart-centered consciousness. Clearing karma. Superconscious, I call upon Spirit and humbly request that karmic debts are paid and resolved within a paradigm of service to humanity, animals, and Gaia, and no longer repaid within the patriarchal system of feminine disempowerment. As my karma is cleared through service, my light expands exponentially and raises the vibration of my environment and the collective. Superconscious, I call upon Spirit and humbly request that karmic debts that contractually require victimization, abuse, persecution, scarcity, and limitation are paid and resolved within a paradigm of service. Karmic debts require painful experiences, depending on the severity of past deeds. This creates balance and offers appropriate compensation, but can keep the old patriarchal system active. Superconscious, I humbly request that karmic debts are negotiated with Spirit to fast-track karma, so I am not perpetually stuck in a self-defeating negative cycle that requires years of victimization, abuse, and suffering. I call upon the unconditional love of the Divine Feminine to invoke self-compassion and self-forgiveness for my self-defeating choices made as a direct consequence of patriarchal core wounding arising from abuse, control, dominance, coercion, manipulation, violence, and persecution. I call on my guides and Spirit for support as I forgive myself for any self-defeating choices made in innocence and unawareness that cause the lowest toxic emotion of shame. I decree that all shame-based, toxic imprints and discordant, dense energies be cleared from my DNA and cells now, allowing me to embody more light for an energetic upgrade that is right for me at this time. This clearing process now facilitates the start of a new cycle of positive life experiences, together with the innate ability to make empowered choices from self-awareness and self-love. I call upon the unconditional love of the Divine Feminine Mother to clear all toxic, patriarchal wounding from my DNA, chakra system, feminine center, body systems, brain systems, and fields. I call back and reclaim all the energy that was lost and stolen in this lifetime to anyone and any traumatic experience to be returned to me now, purified in the light of unconditional love. I decree that a new positive paradigm begins for me now that embodies my creative life force, and that is now becoming fully actualized within the 5D paradigm of my absolute potential and expansion, completely free and unhindered by the old system. I decree, by the full power of my sovereignty and grace, healing is my birthright, and that regardless of my current circumstances, I am purposefully moving forwards, trusting that the light of divine truth will illuminate my path to freedom, joy, and blessings without limit. I call upon the Divine Mother to clear all low vibrational interferences and energies that seek to keep these old patriarchal programs and beliefs active. I am dedicated in my intent to grow without the need to have opposing conflicts and obstructions to my spiritual light and authentic feminine power. I ask the Divine Mother to continually upgrade my energy as I enter a new paradigm of heart-centered empowerment for my evolution and for the collective evolution of the feminine and all those who seek a new earth. I decree that all toxic, low vibrational, disempowering patriarchal energies no longer hold any power or control over my existence. All density in all forms is now transformed by the alchemy of divine, unconditional love. By the power of my sovereignty and mastery, I decree that I am an alchemist and openly embrace my divine feminine healing power to alchemize all dense, dark, patriarchal components and elements from my mind, body, and soul. I am the creator. I am truth. I am one with the divine feminine, and I am one with spirit. I am in full command of my authority and sovereignty as a masterful creator, and decisively choose a path of positivity, truth, and love. I recognize that as I purposefully choose the light will choose me, and this dynamic will add powerful momentum for the collective light of humanity to expand and evolve into heart-centered consciousness. Superconscious, the energetic essence of this decree, can now be evoked and reinforced upon command with the affirmation, I decree, I am the embodiment of heart-centered power and freedom. And so it is. Superconscious, this decree is absolute. In deepest gratitude.